What's up, everyone? How are you guys doing? So this is a little bit of a blast from the past, I guess. No new civilizations. We have RaccAttack in blue as the Malians spawning in the west, and we have loueMT spawning in the northeast in teal as the Dali Sultanate, and we're playing on Dry Arabia. No new civilizations, no new biomes, no new maps. This is what the game was 2 weeks ago before the DLC dropped. I saw this, had to cast it because this is just such a it's only been what, 2 weeks since the DLC has been since the DLC came out. Yeah, it was out on the 14th, so let's just call it 2.5 weeks now. But this is such a it seems like forever ago since I saw non-DLC civs inside of a game. Not only that, but it's Malians. I love the Malians. I mained them for way too long, regardless of who I played against. I just absolutely loved playing as the Malians. And then we have the Dali. So the huge potential of feudal play coming from loueMT, depending on what he goes with. If he's going to go with the Tower of Victory, apply pressure that way, go out, secure the sacred sites, or if we're going to see a little bit more of a passive play coming from him. That's a lot of sheep coming through for RaccAttack at the moment. Was that 8 right there? It looks like he grabbed all the sheep that were around his space. Well, never mind, those one inside of a hidden forest. And it looks like he just picked up another one. What route did he take? Oh, so he hasn't checked the entirety of around his base. He went straight towards loueMT and stole some of his sheep. Awesome. And over here for Louis, he's sitting on 4. Which way did it his? Okay, so is he gonna see that? Yes, he does see the sheep there. And he's gonna go rotate around. I don't think there's anything left. 2 more right there. Where else did he check? So he checked the entirety of the southeastern side of his base as well. A lot of you guys maybe, well, I say a lot of you guys should be familiar with this matchup. I highly doubt it because Malians had one of the lowest play rates in all the previous seasons. So rarely did you actually go against a Malian, and Dali didn't really have that. If I remember correctly, Dali didn't have that high of a pick rate either. So there weren't that many matches, especially casted matches, of the Malians versus Dali. And if you only pay attention to the pro scene, there were even fewer Malian Dali matchups in the pro league. What would it be? EGC. I think that's the only premier, right? Premier style tournament. So this is fun. I love the expansion, but as I said earlier, Malians Dali. Come on now. How can I not? Full wall off, or not full wall off. Full house is placed around the pit mine. Monster Quarry coming up for RaccAttack. Tower of Victory coming up for loueMT. So it looks like he is going to be going a little bit more, not necessarily aggressive, but a little more map control. Try to secure up those sacred sites. On top of that, I'd like to see if he's just going to go into the Ghazi Raiders and Archer style combination, or if he's going to go more Spear Archer. Either way, Archer's going to be involved. Wheelbarrow is finishing up for loueMT. Wait, excuse me. No, yeah, it is. Okay. It didn't look like the progress bar was moving at all. I thought it was bugged. So Wheelbarrow is coming through, or came through for loueMT. Broadaxe is coming through for our Malian player, RaccAttack. Keep in mind, both of these are top, I want to say top 50 at minimum. They're top 100 Conqueror players though. Blacksmith coming down, so we are going to go with the Ghazi Raiders for our Dali Dali player, Dolly, for our Dali player, that's a lot of villagers on wood, currently sitting at 11. He's going to be dropping a ton of production fairly soon because I don't think he hasn't taken his stone, so he's not going to be going for a 2TC. First Gauzy Raider is out. Do we have any production? One barracks, second one getting dropped. Oh, archery range. So a 1-1 coming through for our Malian player. Already the first cattle ranch is down with 3 cows inside of it. First house is gonna go down. It's on fire. Probably throw 2 more torches and then move on to the next one to let the burn damage kill it off. Or is he gonna just go straight for it? He just went straight for it. And the Donzo throws the spear. I love the Donzo. Donzo's such a good unit. Instantly gonna go for the house replacement. Back here we see 2 blacksmiths are down. Free upgrades coming through. Archery range. Oh, how big is that radius? It doesn't tell us. Oh, it's within the influence, correct? Yeah, so we don't actually get to see the influence. What if we switch over to... No, we don't get to see the influence, but it's going to be big enough to get that archery range, of course. It's not like it's only a 1 square radius tile, or 1 square tile radius. I said that backwards. Has his... Okay, so his upgrade's going to be finishing up soon in order for him to take sacred sites to... Yeah. So it's only 2 imams, or 2 scholars. Sorry, I forgot. Dali have scholars. 2 scholars are moving out at the moment. Grab the center and the southmost sacred sites. A 3rd one should be moving out for kind of the center northern sacred site as well. Where is it though? I don't think he's not sitting on 3. Okay, the 3rd one is... Yeah, he only has the 2, so he'll rotate them for sure. Meanwhile, RaccAttack is sitting on 28 villagers, 8 army. A nice little attempted charge coming through on the villagers on the pit mine, or at the villagers that were on the pit mine, with 3 horsemen, or 4, excuse me, they don't have horsemen, with 3 Gauzy Raiders and a scout. RaccAttack is sitting on 10 military, 6 Donzo, 3 javelin throwers, as we're with loueMT has 7 Gauzy Raiders, 5 archers, and the 2 scholars that are capturing sacred sites at the moment. And the rest of the Gauzy Raiders are going to be sitting on the northern one in order to protect it. That way the sacred timer could start ticking. I highly doubt loueMT is going to try to go for a sacred victory in feudal / castle, but it's always a possibility if you're able to micromanage all 3 sites appropriately and your opponent doesn't react in a decent manner in order to prevent a sacred victory. It rarely ever happens, especially since we don't see any walls coming down, so it doesn't look like Louis really cares whether or not they get taken. He just wants the extra gold in order to go up to castle as soon as he can, as soon as it's affordable. 3rd sacred site does get denied. Nice pick off on an archer from those javelin throwers. Gauzy Raider run by, coming over to the pit mine, going to pick off the initial scout, forces the rest of the villagers to back off a little bit. Louis could have committed onto the javelin thrower that was sitting there and potentially the second one that just spawned, but he decided that the idle time was good enough. And now loueMT is rotating back to the northern sacred site with the remainder of his army. Okay, as I was saying that, he decides against it for some reason when he was only like 2 squares away from sitting on top of it. It's not like his army was heavily split or anything either. Okay, now he's splitting off one of the scholars. He's gonna sit on that as he attempts to apply pressure to RaccAttack while capturing the sacred site. And while the timer ticks down a little bit, we have 23 military, 4 RaccAttack, 10 Donzos, 13 javelin throwers against loueMT's 36 military, 16 spears, 16 archers, 12 Gauzy raiders, and 5 spears, as well as 4 scholars. RaccAttack needs to back up those javelins before they get pounced upon, which he does do. All 3 sacred sites have been taken, timer has started, and victory approaches in 9 minutes and 52 seconds. Walls are coming down now for our Malian player to the east side of his base. They've already been completed on the southern part, and now he's gonna just try to go for an attempted full wall off with a single villager. Okay, there's at least 2 villagers there, and loueMT is going in, picks off the first villager that was creating the wall. Second villager is still there, he's gonna be able to, yeah, so he does get picked off as well. Nice little split right there to make sure that the wall doesn't come up while the battle happens. Nice little stutter step coming through as well for RaccAttack, being able to micro back those javelin throwers and was able to get a couple picks off as well on loueMT's archers. Pulls a couple more, RaccAttack pulls a couple more of his villagers, 2 more to be precise, in order to finish building that wall on the eastern part. And up here on the north and northwestern part, he does have 2 additional villagers there as well. Finally securing his second gold pit, or second pit mine. Houses and forge coming up first for some reason. I've been playing a lot of Japanese. Houses and mining camp coming up. Another attempted attack coming through the front. Palisade gate is going to get burned down while the javelin throwers are picking off archer after archer. Look at that overkill though on the archers. He needed to do a little bit more split damage there because there was a ton of overkill happening. He was having 25 javelin throwers focus fire down 1 archer at a time when it's only, I believe, 5 archers or 5 javelin throwers. What was that? 13 damage. They're sitting at, yeah, so it would have been 7 archers roughly, or 7 javelin throwers to 1 shot an archer, and he had 25 of them sniping them down 1 at a time. The +1 attack and +1 range attack, +1 ranged armor came through for RaccAttack on his javelin throwers, which do make them a lot more potent against pretty much everything, in all honesty. Since they do have the ranged armor, built-in ranged armor, they're currently sitting at 4 with that +1. It does make them a lot tankier. They're able to sustain a lot more. A nice little rotation coming down here for loueMT, seeing if he could find anything, pick anything off. I would love to see him split off the Gauzy raiders into 1 control group while the rest of his army tries to harass on a different angle. That way he could do attempted run by. Since he is sitting on 19 Gauzy raiders, they'll be able to burn down a wall pretty quickly and then start harassment as well. Both players are still in feudal. Sacred victory is approaching in 6 minutes and 42 seconds. It's a possibility. With the amount of pressure that Dahlia puts on, it's a hefty possibility of a sacred victory if RaccAttack is completely unable to move out of his base. Nice amount of poke damage coming through from those javelins. They do need to get micro back before the Gauzy raiders come through, and now they're getting funneled in between the houses. He needs to micro these back. Nice amount of damage coming through from the Gauzy raiders onto the javelin throwers. The javelins are blocking the rest of the donzos from being able to protect them. Archers are picking off the donzos 1 at a time while the javelins are attempting to do the same thing to the archers. He still has a lot of room to pull back his javelins and his donzos. Meanwhile, loueMT is just flooding at the moment, attempting to end the game right now, regardless if he goes for the sacred victory or not. He wants to push for the win with what he has. 18 military and dropping for RaccAttack against loueMT's 40 plus. It's just a bloodbath under RaccAttack's town center. He currently has 36 villagers to 50. 15 of Rack's villagers are being idled as well. Random outposts are coming up in order to help defend against this. 6 military for Rack against 32. He needed to be able to RaccAttack needed to be able to micro those javelin throwers and Donzos back further and further, attempt to kite. He kept them too close to the wall and they took way too much damage. As soon as the wall went down as well, he ended up the loueMT's Gauzy Raiders were able to break down the wall and instantly jump on top of the javelin throwers, which severely crushed his numbers without the Donzos being in the front line to tank any of that damage whatsoever. He forced himself into a tight corridor where his Donzos weren't able to push forward either. RaccAttack is currently sitting at 34 villagers and 9 military to loueMT's 53 villagers and 36 military. Yeah, he does have the passive gold income coming through, trickling in a little bit, as well as the passive cows. He would love to have the Grand Cow landmark right now though. Place it right there, jump that passive income, passive resource generation to a whole new level, but loueMT just isn't giving him time to breathe. Not only that, even if he were able to hold, RaccAttack were able to hold 3 minutes 28 seconds until sacred victory. These javelin throwers, the javelin thrower numbers have climbed up quite a bit, but it's still a huge military deficit. And now rams are added in for loueMT and he's going to just completely push in for the kill. There's no front line left for RaccAttack. He has this is the micro that needed to have happened on the first attack. Completely back off, snipe, back, stutter step, pick off whatever you can while you're backing off. Let the TC get a lot of damage in onto the remaining infantry units, and he's doing a good job. He's holding right now, but there's more coming in for loueMT, as well as the rams are pushing through, focus firing down production, as well as the pit mine. Passive gold is gone now from one of those pit mines. He still has the second operational, and he also still has his cows, his cattle ranches, but he needs to deal with these rams, otherwise they're just going to completely decimate the rest of his production. He's currently down. Where are his archery ranges? He has 2 archery ranges. One barracks has been destroyed already. The second one is about half health. More units are streaming in from loueMT. 12 archers. That's the bow for 2-minute warning on the sacred victory. At this rate, loueMT could just sit back, turtle up on his sacred sites and win from there. 19 military to 32. loueMT has 13 archers, 10 spears, 7 Gauzy Raiders to RaccAttack's 14 javelin throwers and 7 Donzo. Upgrades are pretty much even across the board for the most part. These rams are putting in a lot of work, just destroying houses. They already got one of the pit mines. They got one of the barracks. He needs to fight. If RaccAttack wants to try to pull this off, he has to fight in a slightly open area, just so he could be able to kite back with those javelin throwers. 1 minute remaining for sacred victory. There goes the 1 minute warning bell. This has been amazing play by loueMT, keeping the aggression, keeping his forces right there, right in front of RaccAttack's base. Was essentially just a show of potential aggression, telling RaccAttack, if you move out with any of your units to try to recap one of those sacred sites, I'm gonna go in. and you're not going to be able to hold. You're not going to have enough units to hold if you have to split your military. RaccAttack is trying to push out to reclaim. There's 20 seconds remaining on the Sacred Victory. What a countdown. 15 seconds now. These javelin throwers are putting so much win, and instead RaccAttack just GG's out. Game goes to loueMT. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time.